Aloha, namaste. This is Alexis Cox with Radha Home Yoga, and I'm here to bring us our new moon forecast. The new moon is coming up this Saturday. It's going to be 11:26 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and that's the 28th of September. And we are going to have the moon and sun come together in sidereal Virgo. So last month, if you recall, the new moon, we had all these planets ganging up together in Leo, and we had this big, bold month of just sort of not wanting to listen to others and wanting to be the leader and wanting to be the teacher and the commander of everything. And then we moved into our full moon and we started to have a couple planets, Virgo and Mercury namely, move into Virgo. So I talked a lot about the Virgo energy then, especially when it comes to relating, relationships, and Mercury with our speech, with our communication, with our capacity to take in information and then again disseminate it out. This Mercury is exalted here in this sign, but it's moving on tomorrow or the day after this new moon. So on the 29th, we'll have Mercury in Libra, where it's also in great dignity. We'll have a lot of capacity to relate, to communicate harmoniously, beautifully. Artists and all forms of art, from singers and songwriters to musicians and painters and actors and actresses and writers, and everybody will really blossom with Mercury in Libra because it's an artistic sign. It's a sign of beauty and harmony, and Mercury is that which brings those forms about. Sometimes, in Virgo, it's more practical communication. It's more about making things as they are and categorizing and saying things correctly and precisely. In Libra, it's going to be more about beautifying and harmonizing and relating and romance. So there's a lot that will be moving in a very blessed direction for our relationships, especially in a week when Venus joins Mercury in Libra in her own sign. So we'll see us all moving out of that sort of nitpicky realm in relationship where we're really noticing all the flaws of ourselves and others and moving more into that place where we really want to relate and communicate and get along and see the beauty and see the roses and all of that. Now there is a really positive side to the to the Virgo energy, even in relationships, even when Venus is debilitated, because it gives us an opportunity to see what's not working or to see what's not right, things that we can fix, things we can alter, or things that might not be fixable. Sometimes when everything is beautiful and harmonious, we see things through rose-colored glasses and we're missing the flaws and we're missing the parts that aren't working. So, we have to be careful not to judge things from a good, bad perspective. Debilitated means there's less intelligence with that thing being romance, that thing being happiness and joy and pleasure. But there's higher intelligence with buddhi, with discrimination, with our capacity to see what we're seeing really honestly. And that was an aid to our debilitated Venus. Having Mercury exalted in its own sign of Virgo helped us have that, clear communication and really find out what we want to find out, whether we really, whether we want it, whether our heart wants that, our mind wants to know the truth, the facts, the figures, the details, and that perceptivity available to us in that time helps us, maybe either move past instances where there was connection issues in relationship, or realize that we're not relating to the right person or in the right way or whatever. We need to change completely. And after time spent in Cancer and then Leo, we had a lot of emotion, a lot of passion, a lot of other stuff going on. So it was really a time when we were able to dial into what is rather than what we want to be or what we want to force to be or manipulate to be, and really just see things clearly. So Venus and Mercury leading the way into Libra, into that time when we're going to have more beauty, more art, more romance, and more harmonious communication, more harmonious relationships in general. But the moon and the sun are coming together at 11 degrees here in the middle of Virgo, in the star of Hasta. Hasta is a nakshatra, a star of manifestation. It's literally represented by the hand, by the palm of the hand, of which we are able to release with an open hand anything that's not serving us, and draw into the palm of our hand that which does, that which we want to manifest. We use our hands to make things, to create things, to, literally, physically mold what we want into reality. And the deity of Hasta is named Savitri, or Savitur. And it's a deity of the sun. So he is part of the sun, one of the names for the sun. And it's the part where we awaken to dawn. It's the part where we see clearly in the daylight, which is why Mercury is exalted here. We're able to see clearly and not live in the illusion of the night. And we're able to make manifest that which inspires us, that which we feel inspired to make. And because Virgo is an earth sign, because it's so practical, we're physically able to bring this into fruition, into the world, and use our hands to do so. So, whether this is something more like written or artistic, or whether this is something more physical that you're building, or whatever realm, maybe it's just an idea that you're starting to come up with, but this is the possible time to really make it happen, to do whatever needs to be done. Virgo's attention to details, take care of those details, the work that you don't really want to do, the physical writing of the thing on the paper, the physical sending of the proposal, or the making of your image of what it is you want to do, your prototype, whatever it is you need to do. This is a time you can do that. It's that part of the sun that we've woken up, we've said hello sun, and this is what we want to create today, and we can go ahead and do that. There's a mantra that is well known in the yogic circles called the Gayatri mantra, and it is kind of an ode to Savitri, to Savitur. You can say it with me if you'd like, or you can just close your eyes and just feel it. But we'll take a moment, bring our hands to our heart center, take an inhale breath, and then exhale. Om Bhurvubhuva Swaha Tatsavitur Varenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Om. And again, take an inhale and an exhale. And just see if you can illumine in your mind what you're trying to manifest right now. You can keep it real simple, really practical. And when you feel ready, you can bow your head down to your hands. And then release them and open your eyes and come back to the present. Sometimes when planets are in Virgo, we lose sight of that bigger picture. We lose sight of that connection to spirit and our mystical selves. And the reason these practices, these functional things we do, like asana, like yoga asana, hatha yoga, these practices bring us to a connection with something higher than ourselves. They expand us by healing and clearing blockages we have to that connection. So that's the greater purpose of what we're doing. We want to have a comfortable seat so that we can meditate. We want to have a comfortable body. We want our systems to be flowing with health and healing. And Virgo is where we really tune into the part of us that sees what's wrong, that sees the flaws, and wants to fix them. So especially in the realm of health, it's the natural sixth house. It's the house where we see our illnesses and we want to heal them through natural plant medicine, through proper diet, through cleansing ourselves. And I talked about this a lot in the full moon report because we did have Venus there. So a way to make ourselves feel happy when Venus is in Virgo is that self-care. But we can continue this as our new moon is bringing this cycle for all parts of ourself into our psyche. We want to purify. We want to purify our mind through mantra. We want to purify our body through healthy eating, through herbal remedies, through natural medicine. We want to purify our environment with plants, and we want to garden and tend to things so that everything is neat, clean, pure. That's the essence of Virgo, trying to purify, trying to bring things back to new, to their virginal state, which will never be. We will never do that, but we can make ourselves halt or slow down aging and weathering of things by doing regular purification, by doing regular healing and upkeep, and by keeping both our environment and our body environment clean and clear. And so this is really what we're offered here in this cycle, is that opportunity to harness the natural world and the physical world to bring us to a state where we can ever attach ourselves to our more spiritual life and self and practice. And that's really where Virgo can shine, is the details. And we can clean and organize. And if you're not normally, heavy on the Virgo planets, you might not be that good at taking care of those little details or organizing or keeping everything upkept. So this is a time for you to tap into that. If you naturally flow with a lot of Virgo energy, this could be a time when you're sort of in your element and everyone's with you and everyone wants to help you organize when you're normally doing it alone. So this can be a time for you to help others and also get the help you need doing what you love to do most, which is categorize, organize, and clean and purify. This cycle also has with it Mars, just like we had the exact same planets in Leo. We had Mars, Mercury, and Venus join the moon and sun when we had our new moon in Leo. Now we have the same planets here, and Mars is just entering Virgo, so we're in the early parts of this. We've had a very combust Mars recently, especially in that fiery energy of Leo. We've been kind of maybe getting angry on the dime, and now you're starting to feel that calm down. It's been, less and less the last couple weeks, and we're able to channel our physical energy into these practical tasks, because there is that sort of muted anger with Mars and Virgo. We don't have as much expression for it. We don't have as much of a channel for it. It's not as intelligent in Virgo. But what we can do is kind of go nuts on our cleaning, go nuts on our organization, go nuts on our bodily health regimens and things like that. We might not be motivated with the same level of discipline, but we're motivated by sort of a neuroticism, and that is what it is. We can only harness what is there. We have this attachment to things being, up all the time, and this idea that we want things to be good, but good is really relative, and the downs and the ups that we feel, that we experience, where we like something or we don't like something, we're attached to something or we're detached to something, is really just part of the life cycle. So there's times when we're going to go through ups and downs with certain energies, and the trick is to harness it. The trick is to know what it is and harness it, because you can't fight it. You can't turn yourself into a warrior when you're not. So what you can do is use what you have. And what you have is the planet of action, the planet of discipline, the planet of courage, in a sort of, self-critical, anal retentive sign. So what do you do with that? Well, you clean, you organize, you make everything around you conducive to when you do enter a space and a time when you can be more connective to something higher, or when you can, be more relating to somebody other than yourself. You use what's at your disposal. So this is a good time for that. We do have the planet Jupiter still in Scorpio, so we do have that spiritual connection right now, especially capacity to look into our own shadows, the shadows of others, and really have compassion and empathy for what people go through and the pain and suffering in the world. So there is still that high spiritual energy, and Jupiter's of course been direct now for a while, and Saturn just went direct over the last couple weeks. So we're able to commit to our teachings, commit to our to what inspires us and to what we believe in. Saturn is in Jupiter's sign of Sagittarius, so this is where we're able to really make those commitments. Now, K2 and Saturn, the South Node, are tightly tied together right now, so we still have that sort of withdrawal from it, where we're not fully engaged or fully desiring whatever it is we're committing to, but we're able to do it, and we're able to roll up our sleeves and do the work, because that's what Saturn does. Saturn is able to be driven, even if just on fear alone, even just on the idea that there's only so much time and we have to do something because time will run out. And so we have that going for us. And we also have our planets in this space where they're between the nodes. The nodal axis is, they're not actual bodies. They're spaces and time that we've, points in time and space that we've calculated that figure out where the eclipses will be in any given cycle. And we've been in this one cycle for a while, and if you haven't yet downloaded my free report on where that axis is in your house, you should, because it's very helpful to know what's the karma that's driving you right now, what's motivating you forward, what's really like, what are you kind of obsessive about, and what are you really withdrawing from. And that will also show you where Saturn is in your chart, what area of your life you're committing to, even though it hasn't been really, heart drawn for you. It's been more fear drawn. But anyway, this axis shows that we have heavy karma with something, and in your natal chart, it'll show what your karmic draw is in this whole lifetime. But as we go through transits, it'll show what we're dealing with in the now for that 1.5-year cycle. And with Rahu and Gemini and Ketu in Sagittarius, since March, we've had, the planets kind of shifting around this axis. And right now, even though Saturn and Ketu, and my calculations, are very close, they're very neck and neck, and Saturn might be technically in later degrees than the South Node. It's by seconds. It's by, it's not even a degree. So we have all our planets in between the two nodes, and Rahu being the starting one, the North Node, we have that sort of insatiable desire to create, to start, to make anew, and maybe not a lot of intelligence, maybe not a lot of wisdom to draw on, but this desire to just start something new. So there's new karma starting for us on a deeper level, a bigger level than just this Virgo cycle. And if you can tap into that, if you do have more of a connection to your mystical self, to your higher self, and you can take those physical practices and that physical thing that you're really bringing forward right now in the now, and make sure that it's sort of aligned with your higher karmic drive for this cycle, then you're really understanding what's flowing and why, and not just that one step right in front of you, which Virgo can sometimes do to us. So I urge you to, use the mantras, use the prayers, use the meditation, use that comfortable seat you're creating and that clean, clear space you're creating in your home to take the time to meditate and really tune into what's bigger, what really is going on here, not just the one step in front of you, and that immediate fear, that immediate self-doubt that might motivate you right now. So I hope this is helpful. If you like this, you can like, comment, or share the post. Again, you can sign up for the newsletter and get not only these new moon and full moon reports, but also right now your free report on the nodal axis for all 12 signs, and coming soon, the change for Jupiter when Jupiter moves into Sagittarius. So you can either sign up or share this with your friends, and I hope you have a beautiful new moon. Blessings. Namaste.